Yeah, y'all, let's go. 93-88. We in here. 93-88, man. Sorry about being late. Had a whole bunch of stuff going on, man. Apologize, man. But it's a close game. Knicks down 93-88 after trailing by at some point by maybe 20 points. This team is showing a lot of fight tonight, man. Salute to everybody watching. Salute to everybody watching on replay. So we're gonna rock and roll for a little while. 5-point game. The Knicks could have easily have just packed it in, but they didn't. Jericho Sims is out here hooping tonight. Deuce McBride is out here hooping tonight. 8-man rotation. 8-man rotation. We just out here doing the best we can. We short-handed. B-Ski in the building. What's good? First to comment. Salute. So I'm gonna try to call the end of this game, man, and hang out for a little while. I hope y'all can keep me company, man. Hadn't been here for a minute. My schedule is irregular right now, so I appreciate everybody coming through and catching it when I can get on, man. Salute to y'all. Yanko, what's good, man? Space Ghost is in the building. Salute. So for those that are at, so let me I'm gonna just read this comment real quick. The real Yanko says I'm at work listening to the stream. Appreciate, yeah, man. Knicks all day, bro. Knicks all day. For those for those of y'all that can't see the game or missed a large portion of the game like I did, I'm gonna try to call it best I can once the action comes back, and then that way we can kind of experience this thing together. So I got to see the explosive Deuce McBride dunk, and I also got to see the explosive Jericho Sims dunk. The action is back, so I may be a little bit behind, but all right. So Murray brings it across. They switch. They run rub screen. Murray over DiVincenzo when it's good. 95-88 Atlanta. The Knicks switched everything on that. Oh, look at Deuce. Deuce to the rim. He's smothered in the foul. Deuce being aggressive, going to the rim. This is what we've been wanting Deuce to do for the longest. We've been wanting some aggressive Deuce going to the rim, and we're getting it. Number one re-enters for Atlanta. 95-88. Hunter exits. Josh Hart pounds to inbound, gives it up to Jericho Sims. Speed dribble to Dante. The lob was there. Dante didn't throw the lob. It was there. Deuce settles everybody down. Deuce kicks out to Hart, who had the shot. Pass it up, gave it to DiVincenzo. Back to Hart. Josh Hart clearly didn't want to shoot it there, but DiVincenzo gave it back to him and made him shoot it, and it's in. 95-91. Murray up top. The screen up top. Josh Hart switches onto Murray. Deuce with the deflection out of bounds. Clint Capella re-enters. Garrison Matthews and Bruno Fernando exit. Josh Hart guarding number one. Sims. Oh, Murray knocks down the three. The Hawks are back up by 7. 98-91. Josh Hart for three. It's off. 5:49 left to go in the game. Oh man, what's good, man? Sadiq Bey with the rebound, inside pass. The Hawks are bumbling with the ball. Knicks defense is pretty good right here. Bogey on Murray. Shot clock violation on Atlanta. 5:22 left to go in the game. Knicks up 98-91. Atlanta's coach has on red glasses. Quinn Snyder. Josh Hart up top to Bogey. DiVincenzo, three-man. Oh, they just throw the ball away. Dante DiVincenzo having a bad game, but it don't matter. These last 5 minutes are what matters. Hartenstein re-enters for the last 5 minutes. Jericho Sims played hard tonight. Bogey fouls Capella on the entry pass. It's a good foul there. 5 minutes left to go. Down by 7. Bogey, that was a good foul by Bogey. Clint Capella misses the free throw. Clint Capella makes the second free throw. Hawks up 99-91. 4:55 left to go in the game. Deuce calling offense. He gets the screen from Dante. He deuce ISOs on Bogey. The shot is up on Bogey and it's slightly off. Deuce being aggressive. And Deuce Clint Capella is bowled over by Deuce McBride on the other end. Ismail Rivas is in the building. Salute, salute. Atlanta up by 10. So down by 10, 4:30 left to go in the game. Of course, we need back-to-back stops here. But in those back-to-back stops, the Knicks need a stop and a conversion. There's a conversion by Bogey. Now we need two back-to-back stops. If we get two back-to-back stops, it'll be a two-possession game. Deuce poked the ball away. 5 to shoot. Clint Capella got a fortunate put back there. Josh Hart pressing so the defense won't set. That's a good ball. Fake pass. Deuce with the shot over Capella. Is not back out to Bogey. Bogey, you got to go get those, Bogey. Dante DiVincenzo, the athlete. Bogdanovich to the rim. Kicks out to, oh, we are messy passes, messy. Deuce gets the shot up. It's long. We're at about 3 minutes left to go. Down by 9. The Knicks need two stops back to back. chat right now, the Knicks need 2 stops back to back, and they need 3 points. It doesn't matter if you get a three-pointer, a layup, and a free throw. However, you need to shave this thing, get it within 6. So we're down by 9 with about 3. You need 3 points to get it to about 6. Right? That way, you can operate in a two-possession game with the mindset that you can get the clock down to within the last 30 seconds of the game to hit a shot. But you definitely have to get stopped. If I'm Tom Thibodeau right here, if I'm Tom Thibodeau right here, I think I go all defense right here with the hope that we could get some deflection, run out, fast break opportunity. If that doesn't work within the first minute, then I'm scrapping everything because of the lead. Cam Goldberg is in the building. So for this first minute, I'm going all defense to see if I can turn them over, whether it's a moving screen, a charging violation, a missed shot, something. And I'm gonna see if I can make defense generate offense. And then if we're still down by 9 with about 2 minutes left to go, then I'm going all offense, bombs away. Anybody disagree with that strategy? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you disagree with that. If we're at 9-point deficit with about 2 minutes left to go, the likelihood of you winning is impossible anyway. So in my mind, I say go all offense, put your best 5 offensive players on the floor, right? And just bombs away. And then if you somehow cut it to about 5 at a minute and a half, then I might consider offense to defense substitutions for the rest of the game. Anybody agree or disagree? On a side note, I miss y'all, man. Been super busy with a whole bunch of stuff, man. Miss y'all, man. Whole bunch of stuff going on, man. Atlanta looks like they're going all defense. So down by 9, 3:11 left to go. Anything can happen in the next 90 seconds. If if somehow this lead gets away from us, if it gets to 12 or 14, then I'm gonna sit Josh Hart and Dante Num and concede and wave the white flag. Take some take some tread off the tire, so to speak. We really need Dante DiVincenzo to show up down the stretch, y'all. So we need a stop right here. 12 goes by Bogey, throws up a layup. It is good, and the foul. Oy. So this was the worst case scenario right here. If he hits this free throw right here, this might be the worst case scenario, everybody. But it won't be too late though. We don't want to wave the white flag right here. We just need to generate some offense here. Atlanta hedges out high. Oh, that was a bad shot by Bogey, maybe? Atlanta's gonna milk some clock here. The turnaround on Deuce is good. The Hawks are up by 13 at about 2 minutes. And the Hawks corral a rebound with 13 minutes. If they get this down to, yeah, it's over. So the Hawks somehow, Murray just got the lead up to 15 under two. So, yeah, so this one might be, if I'm Tibbs, I'm probably going to call a timeout and get guys off the floor. Not going to lie to you, this is a disheartening loss, man. Ismail Rivas says this team is getting bounced in the first. Nah, nah, we got to relax, bro. I mean, really, four starters are out tonight. Like legit, what NBA team is going to be down four starters, and then put up a fight like this? We should be proud of this team the way they played tonight, man. Should be really proud about how this team played tonight. I mean, this team probably should have lost by 40. You know what I'm saying? Considering all the circumstances, and this team put up a fight all night, man. Tibbs still has starters on the floor though. Deuce with the corner three. It looked good. Precious with the offensive rebound. Back up to Dante for three. It's good. Knicks down by 12. Still fighting. Atlanta taking their time up top. Atlanta up 111-97. Josh Hart with a step back three is short. I think Josh Hart's legs are tired, man. Josh Hart clearly is tired. The Hawks still have their starting point guard on the floor. Yeah, they throwing lobs now. It's over, everybody. Hawks up by 16. DiVincenzo with a second straight three. I think it's window dressing at this point. But to see a veteran like Bogey still playing hard, that's impressive. Hawks up by 15 with 31.1 seconds left to go. I would really like to see Tom Thibodeau take these starters out. Ronnie Robbins, thank you for the generous contribution. Ronnie Robbins says McBride is a bad shot taker. I think considering the circumstance, I think some of those he may have to take. But the Knicks showed heart tonight, man. This team showed a lot of heart, and the starters don't wanna come off the floor. Look at the starters, down 16 with 23.4 seconds left to go, and they still don't wanna come off the floor. Ismail Rivas says, consolation prizes are for sucker stop, bro. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The starter's still on the floor, still looking for shots. McBride with a long break, and that may be it. I think that may be it. The Knicks fought to the buzzer, basically. Atlanta was the better team tonight. Quinn Snyder and Tibbs. Jalen Brunson with the fire tan jacket on. Trae Young didn't play. Trae Young with the hoodie. Sadiq Bey dapping up. Sadiq Bey dapping up Nova guys. Statue of Liberty in the background. Salute to Jersey City. So I didn't get to catch the I was tracking via cell phone the first part of the game just because I had you just because of previous engagements and all that stuff. But um I wish we could have seen some Shake Milton tonight, even in limited action. No big deal. I'm sure we'll see him Friday. I'm certain we'll see him Friday. So what do you guys take away from the game? I think my major takeaway from the game is we don't have anyone that can guard athletic 6'7", 6'8" guys. At the moment. At the moment, we don't. We don't have anyone that can guard athletic wing players with size right now at the moment. Also, without Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, we can't afford to get into a hole against any team. Atlanta showed that tonight, right? Atlanta proved to us tonight that the Knicks against any team, and I mean currently with this roster, I mean without Brunson, without Randall, without Mitch, without OG, we can't really get down against anybody. Kenny Payne, Mr. Positive says, "Oh, we don't got shooters. They bums. Oh, wow. I thought you had something super positive. My bad. I thought you had something super positive, right? But yeah. Okay. Okay. And Ismail Rivas says Shake Milton is trash. This team is cooked. No, the team ain't cooked, man. And Shake Milton is not trash. Shake Milton ain't trash. I think we may be caught up in the moment. I think what happened is I think what happened with us is we counted Atlanta as a W on the schedule, right? But games not played on paper. Games are played on the court. I think we counted Atlanta. We may have figured that Atlanta would just show up and roll over, and they didn't. And as a Knicks fan, we probably are frustrated that the fact that Atlanta um um came in and didn't roll over. And am I confident that we beat this team in a play-in situation? Absolutely. Absolutely. But has Atlanta been also playing better without Trae Young? Absolutely. 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 And and one other thing I want to point out too, that the Knicks took 99 shots, so it wasn't a pace of play issue, right? Atlanta took 87 shots. The Knicks took 99 shots, right? Out of those 99 shots, the Knicks took 52 three-pointers. Tonight, the Knicks took 52 three-pointers. Were we out rebounded tonight? We were dominated on the boards tonight. Mets is in the building. And Ismail Rivas says, Freezy got more heart than this team right now. Yeah. Well, I'd like to think so, but that's because of the human element. Met says this whole 8-man rotation crap has got to stop. I mean, who else are you gonna play? Who else is gonna play? I got you, Mets. I got you. It's 8 men because basically that's all you have. That's all you have in theory. Just 8 guys. Shake Milton just got here the other day. I wanted to see him, but he officially signed today. So the likelihood of seeing him play today was kind of small, minuscule, minute, whatever. But it is what it is. Mets, what's good, man?
This game was unbearably frustrating. A game on paper we should have won, but once again we came out the same way we did against Golden State.
Wait. You're saying that we should have won this game on paper, even though Atlanta was healthy except for one player and the Knicks were missing 4 starters, and you're saying we should have won this game?
Yes.
I think you're delusional. The Knicks are down 4 starters, 2 all-stars, and the Hawks are missing 1 player, and the Knicks should have won this game.
Or at the very least, it could have put more effort into it.
Maybe more competitive. If you mentioned more competitive, then I'd have been okay with you.
Sorry.
But man, for the Knicks to be down 4 starters and one guy I think is going to be a rotation piece in Shake Milton.
And he doesn't even use them.
Got here.
Which is why I said this 8-man crap has got to stop. When you bring in a new piece, use it. Give it a test run. You don't let it rot on the bench. This is why I've always called Thibodeau a tin man. Cruel and heartless. More machine than a man. No heart. Makes his plan. And his emotions get the better of him and topple his tactics. He doesn't change.
Cowboy Bob, what's good, bro?
Salute to everybody. Good evening, Mets. Good evening, Uncle Freezy. Good evening, chat. How y'all guys doing tonight?
Good, man.
I'm doing good too, man. I'm happy we played tonight the way we did.
Okay.
I'm not mad about it because you actually are expecting role players to step up into starting role positions. One, that's unlikely in a league where everybody's fighting for a starting role. Two, to be able to come back. We were down the whole game. We tied it, I think, twice, but we were down 23 the whole game, and I think the biggest comeback in the league is 24
Yeah,
points.
we went down 23 the whole game.
24.
And
you
can't say
the biggest
you can't say we
the
tied
biggest
it. You can't say we tied it. Yeah, you can't say we tied it and then say we were down 23 the whole game.
The biggest lead I think is 23 that they had on us, and I think 24 was the comeback of the league. So even if we came back, we would have made a big improvement. But we're playing with guys who aren't even supposed to be starting.
And one of the biggest gaffes I think Tibbs made tonight was pulling Achua out and sitting him the whole fourth. Why? He was your hot hand.
Yeah.
It's not even, man. It was the first quarter. They came out the first
I
quarter and
meant
just showed you.
leaving him out, sitting him the whole fourth.
Nah, it was that first quarter, because that first quarter when we didn't even score 20, they just got us, man. So I'm actually surprised we held down Dante Murray till like the fourth quarter. That's what I was surprised about.
Bob, just answer my question.
I'm
Was
sorry.
it a mistake to pull Achua when he was our hot hand and leave him on the bench the entire fourth quarter? Yes or no?
You can say that now, but I can see why he did it, because when he put Sims in after Hartenstein earlier, Sims was kind of bringing in a surge, and so was Precious. So it was like he basically was bringing in Hartenstein tonight for like a defensive stop and try to slow down and help us in the rebounding game, because we were getting
Yeah,
out
and that
rebounded.
backfired immensely.
So
That's the
yeah,
problem.
he couldn't
When he
rely
gets
on Precious. He couldn't
when
rely
he
on
gets in
Precious
that
like that.
surge phase, he ends up making false step after false step.
I just think his hands were tied and they played the best they could. No excuses, we lost, but I even thought we had a
Yeah.
chance against Atlanta with Brunson, but apparently without him, we don't have it. We're missing basically our whole starting five. You might as well just say that.
And blame that on the massive amounts of fatigue-based injuries caused by Tin Man's play style.
It's not even that. I'm not even gonna lie, Unc. I heard you say earlier we don't have a defender against the wing guy. That's, I think, 6'9". And
Right.
I'm saying we've had that problem before we had OG, didn't we? So
Right.
if OG's out, we still dealing with the same problems. That's why I kept saying we need to stick to what we know, which was the rebound game. And they out rebounded us a lot.
But what do you expect when you have a behemoth like Clint Capella?
Yeah.
It was also Johnson too.
True.
Yeah.
The soon look, at best, we're getting Jalen back for Orlando, correct?
We'll
Hmm.
see. Yeah, we don't know.
Because it's usually a 3 to 5 day period with a contusion. At if it doesn't require
Do you want to
surgery.
bring Jalen Brunson back against
No,
Orlando?
no.
Not you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Mets.
I think they
Mets was the
should
one that
bring him back 3 to 5 days at minimum for a minor contusion, no surgery.
right. But we don't know if it's a minor contusion or not.
But
We
then
just know it's a
again,
knee.
I've been wrong
No, we're right,
before, and
right.
this
But you
front
don't
office has
know.
been known to
You don't
lie,
know if
sugarcoat,
it's a
and
minor
cover
contusion.
up.
Right. The Knicks said it's a contusion. You don't know if it's minor or not. We're just going by what was clearly stated. The point that you were making, I want to go with you on the point that you were making. You know what I'm saying? As far as the minutia and the minute details and stuff, we don't care because we're not on the inside. But the point that you were making about Jalen Brunson coming back Friday, what I'm asking you is this: would you bring Jalen Brunson back from an injury within the same week the injury occurred, or would you choose to give him an extra day's rest, right, knowing that even if you brought Brunson back against Orlando, we may not be competitive anyway? Would you rest Brunson and then bring him back when I think OG and others may be on the cusp of returning, and also give the opportunity to do the other the your aforementioned point? Remember, you said the 8-man rotation and how
Hmm.
Tibbs couldn't adjust. Would you give those other guys, i.e., Shake Milton, the opportunity to be to get into the mix, give Jalen Brunson another day off, and then see what those guys can do? Now, either one of your answers is fine with me. Whichever answer you choose, I just like to hear you expound on it.
At this point, I don't care which way it goes. Because what was the point of bringing Shaken if you're not going to use him on day one at all because you're a stubborn, metal-minded robot who doesn't
But
like change, who doesn't like to evolve or allow the possibility of a new piece coming in, even as a damage buffer. He was
but
willing
Matt,
to do it to Taj because of familiarity. But with Shake, he wouldn't do it tonight because he was too afraid to do that.
but
Right.
you
Like
but
I
Matt,
said, this guy thinks he's making every sacrifice he can for this team, and no one is grateful, me especially. But that's
Before y'all respond to what Metz is saying, he had a point. When he got OG and Precious day one, they were playing. When he got Burks and Bogey day one, they were playing. But they get Shake and day one, and Shake didn't play. So I don't know if Shake if it was one of those deals where they just couldn't squeeze him in, or if Tibbs chose not to play him. But either way, I think Metz had a good point on what he's saying. He's saying all the new toys that Tibbs got all year, every new toy, Tibbs played them. I think even Malachi Flynn got junk
Yeah, he
minutes
did.
in the very
He got a couple of
beginning.
minutes. Yeah.
So before we jump all over Met's point, Ben, just hear that man out and listen to what he's saying. Metz, I'm not gonna lie to you. Based on what you're saying, I think there is a point to be made there. I think I agree with you, especially when you saw Dante DiVincenzo couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. When you saw that, and you have another guy that does the same thing that Dante does,
and you don't put him
then
in,
then why not give him a shot?
And I was going to get to that. He thinks he's making every sacrifice for this team, and no one's grateful. Me especially, but that's only because going off his track record, I was quick to sniff him out and knew that sooner or later he was going to make a sacrifice out of the team, and that's what he's done here. He constantly grinds this team in the dust with a play style that is so old school. Where's the mountain until they break? And now we're on the cusp of becoming a play-in team because our team is riddled in fatigue-based injuries, caught one freak injury, most of it caused by him, and his out-of-date play style. Most coaches are using their players with means of adaptability, finesse, and versatility, not bullheadedness.
But Matt, you said you wanted to bring back Brunson. I don't agree with that because everything you're saying has a point up until you say bring back Brunson. Because if you're going to bring back Brunson, that's rushing him back and as well giving him more minutes. Like you just said, that is one of the problems that Tibbs do. He plays his guys too many minutes. So if you rush back Brunson, you're doing exactly the same thing, expecting different results. But I do see your point with how he's been with other guys that has gotten into the league. They have been incorporated pretty much immediately. But for the most part, you got to remember, most of those guys are veterans as compared to Shake. Shake hasn't really been able to show his real talent. So I'm not saying the Knicks, I'm saying me. I haven't really seen him play like that. I've seen more Precious in my eyes than him. So maybe there is something to that. But I just really don't think that he was ready tonight. And tonight would be a night to just show him, yo, we could take an L with this because we won against Cleveland. Now, if we lost against Cleveland and he didn't play and we lost this game, I'll be on the right side with you. But maybe tonight Tibbs was like, yo, he's still a young player. He's been he's been in the league for more than 5 years. I think it was like 6 years he's been in. So he wants him to see what the court is like and see how they play. But I also agree with you with how he didn't use Burks more. Also, McBride got into foul trouble in the fourth with 5 fouls, and he didn't switch him out then. So it's like you have a lot of good points, Mitch.
I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think the dose of minutes was the issue today. If we're just talking about today's issues, I think today's issues was Dante's DiVincenzo's offense was trash, and Hartenstein was trash.
But he's been
right, and Hartenstein. Let me elaborate. I'm gonna elaborate on it. Because I don't want to make it seem like I'm just picking on a player. I don't want to seem like just be all bad stuff or bullying or whatever. If you notice, the minutes where Hartenstein played heavily, the Hawks stretched on us. At the very beginning of the game, the Hawks came out of the box on us, jumped all over us. And at the end of the game, when Hartenstein was on the floor, when they subbed him in at the 5-minute marks, the Hawks stretched on us again. Mm-hmm. Right? So what I'm saying is I don't know if let me restate the Hartenstein thing. I don't know if he played like trash or if he's just not productive with that unit. Either way, we get the same result. Trash.
In my view,
and DiVincenzo being forced to be a number one scorer is probably not something he's ready for. And I know Metz is not ready for it because Metz already mentioned the 8-man rotation and Tom Thibodeau's stubbornness. Right? So why not give Shake Milton an opportunity to at least get his jersey sweaty? I'm not for sure.
And to my point, I mean, the main reason Hartenstein's been trashed for the last month, it's that Achilles issue.
Right. Right.
I mean, yes, if you sat him, if he was sidelined for a whole month, that meant you'd have to sign Gibson to a long-term contract as a damage buffer and make Sims the long-term starter, but in the middle. Personally, I think it'd be more interesting if we start Sims in the middle tomorrow instead of on Friday instead of Hartenstein. The only saving grace tonight is that we're the 5 seed because Philly lost to Brooklyn.
Right. I honestly think that these guys are tired. I saw in the warm-ups, Dante didn't even look like he had it. I'm just going to be honest with you. These guys are tired. So the
Knicks. So wait a minute. Are you saying tired or fatigued? Let me. If you could just specify which one.
Fatigue. I apologize. I think they're fatigued because, to be honest with you, when I'm looking in their face, like Hart didn't even start going until late in the fourth. Dante, when you saw it after he went 0 for 4, you could see him shooting, and you could see he was like fatigued, like he didn't have nothing, even when he was shooting around. Now that's not an excuse. You're an NBA player. You on the court, you play. But the advantage I thought Dante had was his defense, where if his shot was off, his defense would step up to where it could help us. But McBride had out defensed him tonight. And McBride is looking more of a better player right now than Dante has the last few games. But I think it's due to fatigue because he is taking more 3-pointers. We took a hell of a lot of 3-pointers tonight, and I kept saying it. We have 5 good 3-point shooters. We need to stop. Stick to what we know and stick to our post game. Create a down low, cut to the basket, kick out. I was saying that. But you can see when we try to incorporate the 3-pointer, it doesn't work if we're not hitting. And that's the issue. We need to, when we were coming back, how were we coming back? Precious was hitting down low. Sims was coming down, getting those rebounds and blocks, hitting the post, getting the off of the rebound, dunking it, getting a higher lob. We was attacking those areas. That's how we win. And then our defense was getting back where we were getting the rebounds, getting back on quick pace. There's a lot of things that was happening. Even Josh Hart, he wasn't bringing up the ball and looking to score. He was waiting. Like a lot of times I see him hanging at the 3-pointer, and I know I said this before, 1-on-3 doesn't matter, get the foul call. Y'all laugh at me, but tonight would have been a perfect night. We didn't even hit the foul lines the way we needed to. I think it was like 14 times we went to the foul line.
11.
It's just, yeah.
11. Somewhere in there.
11.
Okay.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, where were we going to get the extra points from? And especially when they had their best players in trouble. Salute. We had their best player in trouble with 5 fouls, and we just let him just chill. Like, now go ahead.
I think we may have an explanation why our heart's been trashed. According to Amani the Great Minneapolis, he's saying Hartenstein is playing to not get hurt with his close call with his Achilles. He's playing to avoid getting hurt. I mean, I get that. But still, the trade-off is you're sacrificing both offensive and defensive play.
Right. Yeah. Matt, I don't know if you remember me asking you this question or not, right? But I'm going to ask it again as a refresher.
All right.
I asked you on the morning show, right? And this was about a month ago. I have some of those questions that I want to revisit. I write them down or whatever. But since some time has passed, And well, let me preface. You remember when people were telling us when Randall was going to come back, and I was like, I don't want to get a 60% of Randall. Yeah. I'd like to get Randall back at about 90, 100%, and I would rather get a fully healthy, rusty Randall than a Randall coming back at 60%. Is what I said. Yeah. And I asked you, and I think it was King Ribby, right? Would you rather have a player nursing an injury but on the floor, or have the guy sit out and just come back fully healthy, right? So now I'm going to ask you the same question about Hartenstein. Would you rather have Hartenstein sit out and get fully healthy, or have him play at about 60, 65%?
I'd rather him sit out, but the trade-off is we need a big man as a damage control piece until Mitch gets back.
Right.
And does that mean re-signing Taj to a fourth 10-day contract? I'm not sure if I'm willing to roll the dice with that.
Okay. What about more Precious Achiuwa at center and more Jacob Toppin and the Precious Achiuwa wing role?
That could work. But again, we've got a heartless Tin Man as a coach. He's not going to go for it.
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean, this
Tibbs is
is the
kind of
same.
hard. Yeah, I
I
have
mean,
to agree with that.
this is
Sorry.
the same BS that got Thibodeau in trouble in Chicago with Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah. This is the same BS that got him kicked out for basically running Jimmy Butler, Cat, and Wiggins ragging in Minnesota. I mean, you've seen me for movie reference, D2 the Mighty Ducks after the loss to Iceland. Gordon basically runs the team of kids into the ground to where their tutor has to give him a day off, and she chews him up and spits him out for it.
Right.
Even
Can I see?
at
Oh,
one
sorry.
point
Go ahead.
where the kids were calling him Captain Blood.
What's good, Jake?
Go
Hey,
ahead.
how you doing, guys? I just want to say something about like
Salute, Jake.
salute to you guys, salute to the chat, and subscribe and comment. Like, all right. So my issue is with this team is like not an issue, but it's just a concern for me. Is that I think the coaching is kind of not good with managing the minutes to people. They're not resting players. I mean, that's why all of our players been injured because he's been pounding them on the ground nonstop, and we're not getting rested players until before playoff time. And I just think a concern that I don't know what to say about. It's just the coaching is frustrating that he can't even rest his players.
It's
I
That's
because
why no one's
I
healthy.
can't
that's why I call him a Tin Man with
I,
tactical tunnel vision.
I can't do this anymore. No, I'm sorry, guys. All the stuff that Tibbs has done has gotten us to where we are. Now it's falling apart due to injuries. Now everyone wants to rip him to shreds. He's made adjustments throughout the years with his players due to injury. Even if he was forced, he made adjustments. Players are playing better. We even beat the second team last game. This game, we lost because we let them get out ahead of us in front in the beginning of the first quarter. And they ran on it and they just kept on going. But to be honest
Right.
with you, Tibbs does have a lot of inconsistencies, but he has made adjustments and he has tried. So for what's
Right.
going on right now, Tibbs is the man that we need to just be behind and be like, yo, he actually has been making changes. You just looked at everything you just said about what happened with Derrick Rose. Look at how his teams was after those injuries. They didn't even end up anywhere. But we're still fighting. We still got good coaching. We still got good team leadership. We still have good core because we're still competing and we're still getting into games. Come on, let's be real. If any team lost two of their stars, they wouldn't even be in where we're at, still trying to fight. They would have given up already, like, yeah, we can't do it. Look at the Sixers. The Sixers are barely holding on and they just lost Maxey. And
And
that's
Right.
two of their stars. And we're
Okay.
missing four, maybe even five.
Right.
I got no issue with Tibbs. It's just concerned about just concerning that he's not resting their star players as they coaches should be doing, generally speaking. I'm not
He
saying I
can't.
hate Tibbs, but I'm saying like wish he could manage little tweak some things up to help the
He
roster, if that makes sense.
he can't because his hands are tied. If you look at it this way, he wasn't playing. If you look at anything that was going on, he's playing the guys that he knows best that can play. If you look at the injuries and how he's playing Josh Hart so many minutes, and we all talk about his inconsistencies. I know because I hear it all the time about Josh Hart, but he's playing him a lot of minutes because he has to and he trusts him. Because if he didn't trust him, he wouldn't play him. So it's not so much of him playing guys with minutes. He's playing guys who he feels, hey, look, I know you're in a rough patch. Keep going. Look at what he did with Dante tonight. He kept him out on the court.
I still felt like it was unreasonable for that team that was exhausted to cut a 21-point lead to 0, tie up the
Hmm.
game, and then expect them to have gas left in the tank to put away a reasonably healthy team.
I didn't expect that neither.
Yeah. I mean, to come back to be down 21 points
24.
and to cut that lead to 0, right?
Hmm.
To cut the lead to 0, right? To tie the game up, late in the game, right? And then to expect that team that went on that run to be able to put a team away was an unreasonable ask, seeing how we started out in the first place. That's why I'm kind of on the boat with Mets when when you mentioned why did you just play 8 players tonight? You know these guys with Brunson out, right? Because this is not the first game Brunson missed. This is in theory the second game in a row because he only played 1 minute of the game against Cleveland. So he missed 47 minutes. Or it's thereabout for all of those for the sticklers. They'll be like, oh, but he played a minute and such as I don't care. He missed the majority of that game and all of this game. So that means Dante and Josh Hart and others played the majority of that game, right? And then played the majority of this game. Deuce McBride played 47 minutes in that game, right? And he played 45 minutes in this game. So to not even give Shake Milton the opportunity to step on the floor, I think was probably a mistake. But at the
I think
same
Shake
time,
Milton should play, bro. He's good. He
yeah,
nice, man.
I always like Shake Milton, bro. Honestly,
He
I
could
like
bring
Alec
it.
Burks. I like Alec Burks, right? But if you had told me before the trade deadline I can get Shake Milton over Alec Burks, I'd have been like, done, do
Heartbeat
it.
done. Yep,
Yeah.
agreed. 100%.
And I like Alec Burks, but I like Shake Milton more because of Shake Milton has more in his bag in his career right now, I think, than Alec Burks does. I think Alec Burks is situational. And when I mean situational, I mean when the playoffs come, I have no doubt that Alec Burks is going to step up and be a key contributor. But late in the season, I think Alec Burks needs to rest those legs.
I would love to see Shake Milton play. I can't wait to see that happen.
I mean,
I would love to see that.
At this point, Thibodeau is about to be on the hot seat if this team misses out.
You know what I would do? You know what I would do to and Mets? I'm not gonna lie to you. I was asking you the Orlando question because I was trying to set you up for something and not set you up for a trap, mind you. Like we're all pretty good at doing this live stream thing. What I'm saying is set you up for a volleyball spike, right? So to speak. An assist is basically a better way to put it. What I would do against Orlando is sit everyone. I would sit Deuce, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, everybody that had been playing 40 plus minutes. I'm gonna sit them and Jalen Brunson.
So
right?
you would have a lineup of Sims, Achua, Bojan.
I Heart could play too. You need a big man, so
Yep,
I Heart has
yep,
to play.
yep. Daquan
you're telling
Jeffries,
me?
Jacob Toppin, all those
Shake
guys.
Milton.
Yep, yep. Shake Milton, all those guys. I would let those guys play and give Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Deuce, all the dudes that played 40 minutes while this thing is going on. I would sit them, and then go into next week with all eyes on the. And next week, in my opinion, starts the final stretch of the race. Is what I'm saying. What would you do in that? Would you still consider hearing what I said? Would you still consider playing Jalen Brunson Friday against Orlando, or would you try to continue at this pace except add more people to the rotation?
Maybe a little of both. I mean, maybe have Brunson start off on the bench for as a safety precaution. Start Achua, Toppin, Boj, Shake, Burks, and Shake 5 through 1, respectively. And then after about 6-7 minutes of getting their feet wet, pull them out, put in Sims, Brunson, Dante, Hart, and Achua.
Right. Jake, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm just gonna Friday, I'm sitting Brunson, Hartenstein, Hart, DiVincenzo, and then just going in there with the bench. That way we can see we can get we can see what Shake Milton can do, right? You give the guys an extra day, and then after that, I think the next time we play is Philly, right? Mets, who do we play after Orlando? Is it Philly?
It's back to
It is.
back against Philly on Sunday and Tuesday
Sunday and Tuesday.
at the
Excellent.
Garden. And
Excellent.
please, no more of those ugly blue jerseys.
And it's on national
I actually
television.
like those.
That's what I think the Philadelphia games are more important to me, the back-to-back Philly
Mhm.
games, because if you beat Philly, you legit create space in the standings. If you sweep Philly, those two games, you create you get Philly off your bumper.
Didn't we already take the first two against Philly?
Yeah,
did.
but
We
I'm
did.
Same
talking
thing with Cleveland. We got the Cleveland off
yeah,
our
but
back too.
that's not the point that I'm talking about. I'm talking about right now today. Philly is on
Oh,
your
you saying
bumper.
because they're on our neck? Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
So is Miami.
yeah, but
Yeah,
we
don't
don't
forget
play
about Miami.
But we
They're
don't play
creeping up.
Miami though. Is what I'm getting at. I'm talking about Philadelphia.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
Right.
we still got at
Yeah,
least
but
one more.
listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying that Philadelphia is right on your bumper. Now, every time you beat Philly, two things happen. We take a W, but they take a loss in the
Mhm.
standings. So we can legit get them 2 games off of us. Now, there's nothing we can do about Miami, right? But Philly, you can open a 2-game gap between you and Philly by sweeping that Philly back to back. And while that may not seem important now, but towards the end of the season, when you finally get into that stretch run, and then tiebreakers and all type of things come in, you want to make sure that the teams that are closest to you, or in theory, the teams that are in your neighborhood, so to speak, are far enough away where they're not a threat to you in the standings. Anybody in the chat, am I overthinking this thing? Am I overthinking that the Philly games are more important than the Orlando game?
Yep, it is.
How so?
No, no,
How am
I'm
I
agreeing with
overthinking?
you
It is
because the
important.
Orlando series is already over. We already are down. I think three games to them, so it doesn't really matter what we do to them, even though we play them next. But Philly, because like you said, I agree with that. You get a 2-game lead on them.
Agreed.
You push them back further in the standings behind you. Like right
Mm-hmm.
now, I'm just gonna look at the NBA standings right now
We're
just to
half a
see.
game ahead of them in Miami.
Yeah, we
Okay.
played Miami in March. I think April 3rd, I believe. Yeah. No, March
Right.
3rd. Somewhere around the
Okay.
3rd. We played
So
Miami.
so if we beat Philly, we open up a 3-game lead on, or 2.5-game lead on Philly. Right now, it's a half-game lead.
Well, they
Mm-hmm.
get Memphis on Wednesday, and that's an easy one on paper.
But you know what though? I don't know. So we're 5th in the standings right now because Orlando has a tiebreaker. So maybe
Yep.
the Orlando game is more important.
But we already are
It
down 3 games
is.
to them. We lost the first 3 games to them already.
But that's not what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. Right now, I'm talking about right now. Right now,
Currently.
we're tied with Orlando.
Okay.
If we beat Orlando, that means Orlando will be 1 game behind us.
Actually,
And then
Right.
we got to go in with Philly and maybe get. I see what you're
we
saying.
got a game tomorrow.
Yeah. So maybe the Rockets game would be the game that you would actually do that.
I'm
But
sorry.
that's the 4th game. Because if you look at it, we have Orlando, 76ers, 76ers. If those 3 games are important, then that means Brunson has to play.
Yeah, you sure you want to rest your starters for that? That's the
Yeah.
question I was going to ask, too.
I mean, Orlando's got Washington tomorrow night. That's an easy W for them.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
So that
Right.
puts us a half game back of the Magic, coupled with Memphis playing Philly on tomorrow night, and the Heat getting the Mavericks on Thursday night. So
Okay.
worst case scenario, 5 spots going to be a 3-way deadlock by Friday.
Right. And Jake, you understand what I'm getting? I'm basically what I'm asking you guys in a very around about way is, should we embrace the strategy of controlling our future? Should we embrace it, or should we take a step back and allow things to play themselves out?
The first one. I think that's the smartest way to go if you're talking about long term. It's always important to rest your players and starters that are make them more healthy. 100%, the more 100% healthy they get, the more whole roster you have availability to use and use the players that you want to play. that are available to play, and
Okay.
the better. Yeah. So
And I mean, when you look at the Sixers' tailspin being because no Joel Embiid and now no Maxey,
Right.
there's another distraction they've got in their area coming their way in a month.
Okay.
And that distraction is WrestleMania. For publicity's sake.
For those that like WWE,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean,
But
think
I
about it.
was
There's
gonna,
going to be some of the players are going to be at the link in a month, are they not?
yeah. I was just gonna say, we gotta play it game by game. I'm gonna wait it out because, to be honest with you, we couldn't beat Orlando when we was ready with our whole squad because we did play them with OG and we played them with RJ and we still didn't win
And
when we
we
were
no,
healthy.
we no. Every time we played Orlando, we were injured, bro. Orlando was one of those teams fortunate, right? Every time we played Orlando, something was not quite right. You remember we played Orlando without Jalen Brunson?
Uh-huh.
That was
yes,
the third game, was it?
No, we had Brunson that game. It was Dante that was out.
Nah, Dante messed up the second game that we lost because we had the lead, and I remember talking smack
I
about that.
mean, the third game, Dante sat out because of that
Yeah.
hammy he pulled against the Rockets. That was the
Right.
game something was missing.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But
So for
Randall was
me,
out that game
even
also, right?
Randall was on the shelf at that point.
Yeah. And
yeah, he was out the third game.
Mitch, you see what I mean? You see how it seems like to us that the Orlando victories against us were all circumstantial,
But then again,
circumstantial
you can
W's.
because
also
they're so young and healthy. Then what do you
and
expect?
take
A
one
young
other
player
thing into
to play
account.
like that?
Take one other thing into account. What has Orlando been doing the last couple of years? Building their team through the draft, something the Knicks have not done because we've been splurt. Because it feels like, and I know most people wouldn't get this. It's more like our front office is basically splurging away gambling debts and trying to with our draft picks and selling them to the selling the team's corpse to the yakuza, and then we have to break out and end up being indebted servants to a rich heiress.
Yeah, we should have kept our
Yeah.
young players, man. That would have been so
Nobody
useful.
gets that. Nobody gets that, do they?
No, I missed it. That was so far over my head, bro.
Literally,
And I know that's a cultural reference. I get it. I get it. But
well, specifically, it's from a series I've never really watched. I mean, it's meant to be a rom-com called Hayate no Gototo, or Hayate the Combat Butler, where this kid is basically forced to work because his parents are too lazy, spending his money on gambling, and they rack up around a $1.5 million debt, and sell his organs to the yakuza. He breaks free and becomes an indebted servant to a young heiress.
I'm lost.
okay.
I was just gonna say we gotta. It don't matter because at this.
No one got it.
No, I'm sorry.
You lost me there, brother.
This is the last time I ever let the otaku in me out.
Right. Right.
I was just gonna say for me, because if that's a situation where Orlando always wins due to situation, let them win this one and have other teams knock them around. Because to be honest, Philly's back to back, and that we can actually take advantage of more to where we're not at the bottom. We're not at the 6th or the 5 seed. So I honestly think we should just wait it out till the Philly game. Let everybody try to win Orlando because I think we can win with Orlando. But the problem is Dante needs rest. McBride needs rest.
Josh Hart.
Josh Hart needs
Oh
rest.
yeah, he
Like
needs rest. He
it's
looks
like I
tired
can't even
too,
say
man.
anything about Josh Hart. You know I love Josh Hart. It's just like thank you, Hart. That's all I can say because I seen him check up a three. I seen him do the whole chain thing, and I looked at the next game. I was like, "Yo, be careful with that, man. You wilding, Jay." And then now you see what he's doing. And you can't even be mad because he's the only one on the court, and he still got mad rebounds. I think he got 15 rebounds. I
He's
can't
gotten triple
remember.
doubles recently too. I
He had
mean,
11 points in the fourth. Yeah, I know he had that, but I'm just surprised like he's still able to get the rebounds, and he started rebounding late. But if you're gonna be on the court, man, Josh, I need you to be driving to the lane because for real, these guys look tired. Like even when anytime you saw the camera on Dante, you saw him like breathing heavy, like he just was out of it. He was talking to himself like, "I don't think I got it, coach." Like,
Right.
so for me, let them rest, man. Orlando, we already, like I said, they're already like half a game ahead of us. Even if we were to beat them, I think we would be a half a game ahead of them. And then we would have to try to battle Philly, which Philly would probably come back and win those two games. And now we're even stuck because we put all our energy in
Actually,
Orlando.
they
We already beat the
actually
Cavs.
Cowboy. Because tomorrow's game for Orlando is an easy win over the Wizards, they're going to be a full game ahead of the Knicks. And even if we do beat them and tie them up, they still get the tiebreaker advantage 3-1.
Yeah.
But the fact that we have Philly back to back, we can catch and close the casket on Philly rather than have to struggle and beat Orlando when Orlando already has the 3 game advantage on us. When we could close the casket on Philly, secure that to where they could be down and just wait for Orlando because they're young. They're not experienced. I'm not going to say they don't have the talent to play and to be where they're at. They do. But they're going to figure out how it is later on in the season, how it's
Hey,
going to
look who it
be.
is. What's good,
Just
boss?
Salute,
What's
salute,
up?
What's
Justo
up?
1-1. Salute, good
Salute.
evening.
Justo
Salute
1-1 is
everybody.
in the building. Salute, man. I'm so glad you were able to join us, man.
Been a
all
long
this
time,
after
man.
Yeah,
after
man.
I just finished doing some things to get a job at Lowe's. Lowe's that could be coming within the next week.
Well, I hope things work out for you, bro.
It's gonna be in the outdoor garden section.
Just be safe out there, bro. It's gonna start getting warm down here.
And
You know how that
what
is.
that means? Bees.
I heard it's getting warm up there too. I heard.
I mean, I'm not allergic to bee venom, but still, them and yellow jacket nets are a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Been through
So,
that.
Justo, what's good, man?
Nothing much, man. Been a long time. Real busy. A lot of things going on, but
Me too, brother. Me too, man. I apologize. I want to apologize to y'all for not being able to do the Knicks Morning Drive and the Knicks at Night podcast on schedule. It's just, starting a new company, and then I'm back in school for some things that I need, some technical stuff, and and then customer facing stuff. Man, they always want you when you know how it is dealing with customers, bro.
What college are you going to?
Say it again.
Which community college?
Oh no, I'm doing it online.
Oh,
I'm doing it online. I'm working on IT coding and such.
Well, that's cool,
Okay.
man.
you sure
Yeah.
you're
Dope.
companies?
Yeah, and so I
Good luck
have
with that,
zero.
Breezy.
I have zero background and experience with IT coding and any of that stuff, and so it's all brand new to me. So
I
if
can
you can
get you-
imagine, it's a struggle.
I can get you a hookup with my brother. He's part of that sort of thing.
That
That's cool.
yeah, that'll be dope because I need all the help I can get, man.
I'll
I
give you
ain't
his
gonna lie to
phone
you.
number in the
Good
private
luck,
chat.
Breezy. Hope you succeed in that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So what do you think about what you saw tonight?
I'm not as mad as disturbed as like everybody else. I'm kind of looking at it like we're trying to win games with a bench team, and that's rough. Like this kind of, I know it's not as bad as like Memphis, but to me it looks like Memphis in a sort of way. Like we don't really have anybody. We're going out there with guys who've never been like in this position to say, hey, we're gonna need you guys to go out there, win the game, like and be like the entire first unit. These guys, it's kind of their first time in this position, and like,
Yeah.
and for me, I feel like a
Who
lot of
us
guys
or
don't
Memphis?
understand it.
Us or Memphis? You saying?
No,
Oh,
I'm saying us. Oh, it says yeah for both teams, really, honestly. But for us,
Okay.
I'm looking at where for like this year is like our first year really seeing this team as of like this collection of guys is what we're gonna probably go with for like next few years. For like the most part, I'm gonna say the most part. I don't think it's gonna be too much movement yet. But
Right.
I'm looking at it where like with this team, these guys are kind of just doing the best they can, and like you see like Deuce, Hart, like DiVincenzo, like these guys are just trying to just expend, their talent on the court every day. But it's hard. Like even tonight, when the fourth quarter came, the most talented guy showed up, which was Dejounte, and he's a guy where
Yeah.
like
The
sometimes you
closer.
can, yeah, you work hard, it's good, but sometimes talent outshines everything. And as soon as he got to his spot in the fourth quarter, that was it. But I'm not mad. It's a thing where we got basically our best players out. I'm not gonna really get mad. And plus with Tibbs, I can't even knock him. Like I will say, I am with Mets. I feel like he could have used Shake today because Defense has looked horrible. Like I can tell it's a thing of like maybe the last game is carry on to now, but he looked bad. Like he could have probably gave Shake a minute here or there to kind of see if maybe he gets to the groove. But I mean, for the most part, I can't knock the man. It's you only can do but so much with like a really like string together roster. You just brought this guy in. Like I'm not because remember we went on that long run. I'm not gonna say we didn't hear much Tips praise, but I'm not gonna knock him when we do bad. Because we got OG and we went on that run and we ran through like part of the league. I'm not going to act like he wasn't a part of that. So I mean, so far I'm not going to say I'm like impressed, but I'm content. I understand the situation was going on, but it's the most we can do right now. It's nothing beyond this. But I can say what Tibbs gotta he has to. It's only but so much he can do. It's a really hurt roster. But honestly, I don't see the big thing with people being nervous with like, oh, we have to be here. And I honestly feel like these guys healthy in the playoffs. I don't care who we see. I do not care who we see.
Right. I'm with you on that one. I'm confident that if we get to the playoffs healthy, right, I don't think there is a team out there that scares us. Right. My fear is, and I'm not knocking Tibbs. My fear is that, or my concern, my question, and I think it's a fair question to ask. Is Tom Thibodeau a championship level coach? Right. I think that's a fair question to ask after a coach has been in the league as long as Tibbs.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Right. I mean, think about it. He's been in 3 different cities, 3 different teams. They all performed well to an extent, fell off
Mm.
after a while. Right. Right. Is Tom Thibodeau a championship level coach? I mean, once the team gets healthy, I think we have all the right pieces. You'll have 3-point shooting, you'll have slashers, you'll have 2 really good big men, a point guard that can get his own bucket, a shooting guard that can knock down threes, right? You'll have depth, you'll have all these things, right? But can Tom Thibodeau? This is the challenge. This is the challenge to Tom Thibodeau. Can Tom Thibodeau take all these parts and turn it into a championship level team? Right? I'm not knocking Tibbs, right? I'm not gonna say he's not. What I'm saying, the challenge to him is making all these parts into a championship level team. That's his challenge. As fans, our challenge is to sit by patiently while the championship level team gels and wins a championship. That's our challenge. Our challenge is it's hard for us to be patient. And you can't knock the Knicks fan base because it's not like we won a championship 10 years ago or 20 years ago or
What?
30 years ago or 40 years
Around
ago.
50 years
It's
ago.
been 50 years. So excuse us if we're not patient, right? But at the same time, I think Tom Thibodeau's challenge is to take the stuff that he knows and is comfortable with, use most of it to turn this team into a championship contender, but take new stuff and new information and mix that with what he already knows and flexible become flexible in turning what his old school taking his old school sensitivities and marrying it with new school sensibilities and making this modern NBA roster a championship contender.
I
Cowboy
think
Bob,
he's
am I wrong for that? Am I wrong for
no. I think
assuming
he's doing that now. We just smelling the food while we wait. You know how it is. Like, is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? I smell it. You sure it ain't ready? Nah, you gotta wait. You gotta cool. You can't just dive into a hot steak. You gotta let it cool for a bit so the butter and everything simmer. So for me, it's like you're right about that, but it's just we gotta also understand as fans that whether you a championship level coach or not, some championship coaches aren't even real championship coaches. Like some people I even heard said that Jason Kidd when they won, Jason Kidd should have got that championship with the Bucks because he was the one that set everything up. Or even Mark Jackson should have won a championship with the Golden State. But these formulas wasn't working when those coaches were there. But once they leave, the next coach that comes in is the championship coach. To me, that's not fair. So to be honest with you, what Tibbs did for us, yes, he's a championship level coach because what y'all just said in the last 50 years, we haven't been this relevant and we haven't been smelling the food this good in a long time. So yeah, we're going crazy, but he is a championship coach to me because he took us out of the gutter. We about to enter 3 out of 4 years into the playoffs,
Right.
and we in there. And it's very hard to win a championship. If one team wins out of 30, it's not that easy.
For me
Oh,
personally,
dog, I forgot about Big Tone. Big Tone is in the building. Hey, I got you. I got you, Big Dog. I promise you, I got you.
Freezy though, I can't answer that question unless I see all our team healthy in one game in the season to see how they work together before I make my decision on how if Tom Thibodeau makes this a team a level championship team contender. I want to see everyone healthy first during the real season before I make that decision.
Right.
That's fair enough. But for me personally, I think he can, and I think he is only because I've seen what he's done in the playoffs, and I feel like it was right situation but the wrong personnel. So I feel like now with this team, we have enough to compete. My my only thing is just health, honestly. But like for me personally, the way I'm looking at things, we got a bench unit competing with team on a night in night out basis.
And that's
Right.
why.
That's
Right.
wild to me because
And if you're a Knicks fan, if you're a Knicks fan, you should be proud to watch that.
Yup.
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You're watching your team compete at a high level every night, even if you know sometimes the odds are stacked against you in a otherworldly type way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah,
Normally the Hawks game, if it was any other year, I probably would have turned it off after the first quarter. But
yeah.
tonight, I was locked in the whole game.
The team
same.
does have
And
heart.
it's different. The game looks like, hey, yeah, we down by 20, but then you just wait and you don't want to get that text message like, yo, they came back. Like I don't know how they're doing it. So for me, Tibbs is a championship coach because look at how exciting it is with a bunch of backups playing starting minutes and starting roles. He has something there. He probably didn't have the personnel with the other teams as far as the back end, but we're good on the front end because our guys are hurt. So when they come back, whether you see it or not now, he's already made the adjustments in my eyes to where he can stabilize a team with a bunch of role players. That to me is championship level coaching because once you get the talent and what you need, sky's the limit.
Right.
And
Just saying, imagine what he could do when we have our roster back.
Right.
and that's what I'm saying. I feel like because for me, when I look at this bench unit and how they're playing, and I'm like, dang, like when we had our starting unit and how well they were playing, I'm like, you combine that together, any team in the NBA that has to then bench their star has to then deal with the bench unit that can compete with anybody. So I'm like, okay, we got it. We just got to get there. And I feel like I remember now getting nervous because they're like, oh, we're hurt with this, with that. I feel like we have enough. So if we can just, because even still, I'm like, these guys can make end of the year healthy. They can still make a little, like, even at the end of the year, those few games are going to add up. Like this year, I feel like a lot of, unless you're like those end of the barrel teams that obviously know their season's over, these teams are going to still be fighting for like games to win. Because it's not going to just be, whatever, pack it up. Everybody, because now with the playing, everyone's going to fight for positioning, especially with division rivals now.
Hey,
I,
Cowboy Bob, hold it down for me for a few minutes. I'll be right
All
back,
right,
bro.
cool. I got you.
but yeah, I feel like that's a thing we have to really start like thinking about. Like this team still has like a chance to make a push. Like this playoff race isn't going to just be done. It's not a thing where it's set. Like, oh well, we're going to just drop off and go to the play-in. It's not set.
Hmm.
We still have a great chance of making a great run. That run we had, what was that? January, I believe, or February.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was January,
January. That run we had, that's not impossible to happen again. All we
and
need to
that
do
and that's with the team healthy. So imagine a full season.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, man,
Imagine
that's
next year though. with the whole
Yo,
roster.
I didn't.
Yeah, we
I
might
didn't.
lose some players, but
Wait. Hold on. Wait, Jake. I didn't want to get to that yet, but now since you're there, I want to tell people this: us winning this year is honestly best case scenario of anything. If we win it all this year, this is best case scenario because, from in my opinion, I know Feature just left, and I want him to have an idea. But I said, if we win this year, this could be a dynasty.
Nah, I was gonna
it'll be
say
better for next year too. Be even more juicier too.
I I
You
was
got
I was gonna say if we're gonna talk about that point for this year as us winning the championship, if we win it this year, we have like that glory New York story because we're always hurt. Nobody expected us. Even now, I still hear people talking smack about the Knicks saying we ain't making nothing. So if the Knicks do pull it off and win the championship this year will be good. But next year, I think we're gonna have an even harder time because yeah, we can compete and yeah, we're gonna be healthy, but that strength of schedule, and I think there's gonna be a lot of moves, like a lot of moves with the new rules that are coming in as far as defensive players. A lot of teams are gonna be picking up players that to me are like Josh Hart style, where they're just out there trying to play defense and play hard. I mean, we know Josh Hart can play defense, but I'm saying they're gonna be picking up guys like him, expecting him to be like a Bruce Brown, stuff like that. So next year is gonna be like more defense is gonna be very difficult. The only way we could go back to back is if we been doing what we've been doing, holding it down, keep the team where we're at. But we would have three open roster spots, and we would still need another facilitator in the center.
but
So
Cowboy Bob.
that's
Also,
a
I feel
lot.
like this.
Yeah, go ahead.
It is a lot, but also remember this: we have 11 first-round draft picks that we've yet to move. And I'm like, hey, if because let's say best case scenario, let's say this year we win it. We don't even we can go next year and still say, you know what? Let's get something else for this roster. And obviously, I know with the money and stuff is going to be difficult, but we still can upgrade the roster. Like that's that thing that does not
What?
happen. That does not happen for like because most teams that usually win it all usually have to spend most of that to then win it all.
hmm
So
But
if we
what?
were going to a situation where we still win and then we still have all these assets, because let's believe like let's say now we go into the season and now we got Mitch Robinson who's been playing well, but let's say the playoff he's still on the bench, still starting like in and out. We're not 100% showing him. You can still upgrade from that. Cause now let's say you look at a team that's like LA and go, you know what? How about LA? Hey, you Brown is out, and not sure about AD. Take every pick and give us Andy Davis.
Nah, it's different for me. I'm sorry.
How you
Did
feel
I
about
cut
it?
you off? Oh no,
No, you
okay.
good.
My fault. I thought I cut you off. No, no, it's different for me because if we're gonna look down the road next year, the thing is whatever move we make, we're gonna be locked in for the next 2 years. So if it doesn't work, we don't know. So for me, adding a new player that, regardless of skill set, is gonna be difficult because if you look at Minnesota right now, last year they got Gobert and they struggled. Now next year they're doing better. So I still think that anybody we add is gonna need some type of adjustment, but we're gonna be locked in for 2 years, and it may cause problems with like other contracts. That's why I said for now, I think this year is the best year for us to at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals because I'm sorry, Boston, all roads lead to Boston right now. These guys have 12, like, they have like 13 losses. Come on, man. Like, we got to beat those guys. So before we can say championship anything, we got to worry about Boston. And that's the only team I see us having a problem with. And it's because they stole our guy, KP. So for me, right now, Eastern Conference Final is good, regardless of whether we get back our starters. I still see that because in a 7 game series, who would want to play this team? Look at the Golden State Warriors after they played us and they went ahead and tried to play the Lakers. They got burnt. Like, you guys can't hold that up, especially with backups.
Oh, you mean Boston?
No, no, no. When we played Golden State beat us, but then the next game they went against the Lakers and I think they lost by like
Not.
50.
No, it was no. It was
It
Boston.
was
He played
Boston.
with
My fault.
like
My fault.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
They
right.
good.
It
They
was
good.
Boston. My fault. I'm thinking of the other game. Yeah, you're right. It was Boston. So you see what I'm saying? And Boston was just running around like doop doop doop. We lost to Golden State, but Boston dropped the 50 piece on them. So for me, I'm more worried about Boston. So I think with our
Yeah.
team healthy, we can get to Boston and push it to a
Sorry,
game
God.
seven.
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead. I
Now
was
go
gonna
ahead, go
say,
ahead.
my bad, bro. I was gonna say, I would also be careful and watch out for Miami too, man. Not just Boston. I would be watch out for Miami too, bro. They've been every season they've been creeping up from the AFC and they've been coming up to the Eastern Conference and sneakily doing it. I
That's
would
what
be
happens
careful
when
with
you have
Miami
bounty
too, not
hunters.
just Boston. That's just my
That
opinion. Like,
that's what happens when you hire a bunch of bounty hunters. They like to do headshots. That's what. Look, to be honest with you, Miami, Jaime Jaquez, the way they added Jaime, I could agree with. That's impressive. But for me, as far as how Miami is, outside of Bam and occasionally Butler, they can't stop us. But it's always something with them because they try to play. It's like how you have your younger brother and y'all are like your twin brother and y'all play the same type of basketball, the physical basketball, but you don't play where you purposely go up to kick someone in the face. You may go up and just dunk on them and come down soft. Yeah, Miami's the type to go up, kick you in the face, and try to fall and make it seem like they got fouled. So for me, Miami, I think we can handle them.
Yeah, I'm not that. I'm gonna say this year I'm not that worried about Miami because remember also last year they had like I feel like people forget about last year. They were historically hot during the playoffs. Like they
Hmm.
weren't shooting the three ball that well. And remember once they hit like the Eastern Conference Finals, it kind of dropped off. And then once they hit the finals, that was the heat from the regular season. That team got historically hot during the playoffs. It went on a stretch that was just like it was really hard to like uh, um sustain that because it's hard. It's too much. You asking guys to kind of keep a scoring average that's like way above their usual. But for me this year, like seeing how we played them in the regular season, I'm like, oh, like yeah, we can handle them. And then at that we got better. So I'm like, oh, okay, bro. Because for with Miami, a lot of it is pure coaching from Spo. Like Spo's an amazing coach. We all know that already. But I think we can match these guys. And plus, the big man rotation is going to be so dangerous because now you're talking about a guy like Mitch Robinson coming back during the playoffs. So you have to see Mitch, Precious, and then you're going to see iHeart.
OG.
And then you're gonna have to see OG.
Randall.
That's Randall. You're gonna be that's tiring. After a while, you got so many guys who can rebound the ball better than everybody else. You're like, dang, I can't go try to score 25 and come to the end and I gotta guard this guy and this and run. That gets tiring after a while. We have 4 or 5 guys who can just make the game extremely hard for them. That's why for me, Boston, I will say KP is like that X factor because the fact
Where are
that
the where are the sensu
Mhm.
beans when you need them?
I wish
You
we
need
had
the
right now we
earrings.
need
You
them
need
Can
the
I
bad.
earrings, not
ask
the
a question
beans.
to y'all too? Like, with real talk. So, do you think like for this type of perspective, let's say that well, you know how Miami for the past years of the season, you know how Miami's been always on the eighth seed, and they save their energy till playoff time, and that's when they start getting hot. What do you guys think about the Knicks doing that type of strategy to save their energy for playoff time? That's when they start. I think like that every team in the eighth seed always has the odds and the opportunity for a finals appearance. So I'm gonna ask you, like, what do you think the Knicks can make that type of strategy, you know, into that, what I'm saying? Like, have the
Yeah,
Knicks
like
try to do what Miami's been doing, which is smart in my opinion.
you're saying like conserve your like 100% games to the playoffs.
Right.
Like
In the regular season until post the playoff time, that's when you start freaking heating
the
up.
only thing is with a coach like Tibbs is the guy who wants 100 every day. Like Spo just knows how to play. He's gonna put you in the best position to get easy buckets. But with Tibbs is like he needs 100 every day. He needs 100% effort. With Spo knows that these guys can just flip the switch. With Tibbs, I think Tibbs runs it a little differently than Spo. So I think it's like a character, it's kind of like a characteristic thing of like Spo
Personnel.
understands, yeah, personality. And also he's been there enough to see how Jimmy is, where he's like, I can trust that when Jimmy wants to turn it on, he can turn it on. With Tibbs, he's like, no, this right has to be on every day, every single day of the week. I don't care. He's the guy where you come in this house, his AC's on the whole year. The winter
But
time, the
that's how we
AC's
get
on.
injuries. That's also a reason why you gotta think about that way too. If you're
It is.
expecting all the players to play every day on their asses off for 40 minutes a game, you can't don't expect them to be healthy throughout the whole year. They're gonna get hurt.
That's true. That's why I used to like love Greg. I'm not gonna say I did. I love Greg Popovich where he would have his players and he just rest them. I know it became a big issue for the league, but when you're coming into the season with a older Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Ginobili, and you're resting them through the year,
Boy,
once
that was
playoffs hit,
fun. That
We
year was
man,
fun, man.
we
those guys were
honestly,
fresh.
to be honest with you, we can't. We
Wow.
have 20 games left, and I think out of the 20
Oh yeah,
games,
yeah.
8 of them are non-divisional games. I mean, Chicago, we play Bucks, we play Brooklyn, we play the Raptors, we play the Sixers, we play Orlando twice. So
Mostly
we
Eastern.
don't have that luxury.
Oh no. I'm with no, which no, like we understand that, but it just the thought process of like because only thing too with those Spurs teams, most times they were a top three, like 1 to 3 seed. Then like when they take these rest games, they can afford to drop maybe to the 4 or 5 because they understand the matchups. That also too with the playoffs about matchups. So these
Okay.
coaches are aware of who they're going to play. Like for us, we're aware of like the kind of matchup we're going to have. That's why people are trying to say, hey, we need to get a high seed because you want to avoid Boston at all costs because we understand that matchup isn't going to be great for us. So if anything, let's wait until the latest possible series to play Boston, where hopefully somebody's tired, somebody has a little nagging injury. Maybe we can catch them on a really bad day. That
Does anyone
we can
find
probably.
does anyone find it ironic that Cleveland actually came back from like 15 down tonight and beat Boston?
Yeah,
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 that was
but
kind of strange at that point. Yeah,
but I
especially that
want to know
Donovan Mitchell.
what games would you guys consider resting? Because
Like,
I can go through the schedule right now. The next game is Orlando.
and two with Philly, one with Portland, then
I
Sacramento,
would say
home.
Portland. I would
So,
say
but but
Portland.
but do you see what I'm saying? You rest. That's 3 games later, and then you rest guys for that Portland game. Knowing how Portland's been playing better, they probably gonna beat us if we rest guys at that game. So now we have to play Magic twice with Philly, probably 2 out of 1 of that, and then rest in Portland, which is probably still gonna push us back down into the rankings. Because then we got Portland,
So what would
Sac,
you
Golden
suggest?
State, Denver, Brooklyn. We can't rest anybody on Brooklyn. And then
So
you
who
look
would you
at
suggest for
Detroit,
this in which
then Detroit,
game? Yeah,
Toronto, Spurs, OKC, Miami, Sac, Chicago, Milwaukee, Chicago, Boston, Brooklyn, Chicago. Like the only time I can honestly tell you we can rest is the West Coast trip, and that's after the
that's what I'm
Philly
agreeing
game, and
with.
that's
That's
next
agreeing
four
to it. Yeah,
games.
but
Yeah, so we only have
yeah.
four games we could rest, but the 4 games are 3 of them are against top seeded teams: Sac, Golden State, and Denver.
I would rest
So
Denver because we know we're gonna lose that regardless. Denver.
oh, that
Might as
is
well
no,
true.
rest.
no, no, because if you guys are using Popovich's method, then the role players and the backups would be playing, and they're in
Oh,
starter
okay,
roles
okay.
now. So we have to find something. That's what I'm saying. We have to take it game by game. And I'll honestly tell you, I would rather lose the next game to Orlando and win the next 2 against Philly because that to me is easier to do because Orlando's defense is good. They have very good shooters. They have very good team chemistry.
And a
And
lot of
knowing us,
wings.
the last 3 games, all we try to do is run pace with them.
Yeah,
So it's based on the strategy scheduling type. That yeah, basically.
yeah. I'm more so on the side like Cowboy Bob, just resting the guys for the Orlando game because we don't really match with them great. They have a lot of great like wing defenders, a lot of guys who can like because even still we bring Brunson there, it's still a chance we can lose that game. And if we bring him in and we lose, he's still like he has like a nagging injury. It doesn't help. So I think that
Plus,
game,
Orlando is young and athletic, man. They've been.
yeah,
You don't understand.
And
They're
balling.
again,
young.
why is it they're young athletic? They've been building through the draft, something we
Exactly.
haven't.
That's what. Yeah,
Yeah,
they've
but
been
we're
But
tanking
like
the
for how
street
long now?
leader can do, but no, Leon keeps splurging these things away because he refuses to get a good draft pick.
But him doing that got us into the current position we're at to where we're feasible. I'm sorry, we don't have the patience like Orlando to sit back and work through the draft like they did. They're not a big market like we are. And plus, in the last 4 years, we have been relevant, way more relevant than Orlando. So Orlando's timeline moved up honestly because of Paolo Banchero. I didn't know he was
It's
this good.
impressive
That
though
is
to me though. I know
it
He's
people do
is.
that.
really doing a
He's
lot,
good.
and it's very rare to find a player like that. If you look at OKC last year, they were doing well with Giddy at the one, but now they put Shea at the one. They're doing even better. So for
Yeah,
me,
Shay's
it's
nice.
whether you work through the draft or not, it's still going to take a year or two for you to step up. And Tiz has been consistent in the last 4 years of us getting to the playoffs with what we got. So
Also,
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed we haven't figured it out yet to where we can all be on the same page and be like, this is a contending team.
Also, Minnesota, man, they're very good, man. And Edwards,
Mm,
oh my god.
I could talk about Anthony, and trust me, I probably get DC permanently because I'm probably the only person that notices his flaws. Ant Man was good last year because of his defense between him and Gobert when Cat was out. But then when Cat came back in, Gobert, as you see this year, and him are playing a lot better defensively. He's not closing out in the games because he's expected to do more offensively in the fourth quarter. So instead of him playing his defense like he did last year, where he was able to switch on and off his defense from offense to defense, he's now just allowed to do offense only.
And
So
let's not
he's
for, and
but
let's and let's not forget that that Wiggins and Cat only had to deal with the Tin Man in a very short term. By 2018, Tibbs was gone, was he not? From
hmm
Minnesota,
Yes, he was gone.
which meant they didn't have to deal with the pain and suffering that the Knicks have been dealing with. Even though it's made us relevant, the trade-off is we're getting injured much faster than we and worn out much faster than we should be.
But to be honest, though, with what you just said about the Timberwolves, I just thought about it. We are exactly in the same position as the Timberwolves was last year. Think about it. If they needed one, they added one more superstar to where they're locked into it. Now they have to run with the team that they have, and they can't because their contract is locked in. Look at us. This is exactly where we're at right now. We had one more superstar or an all star or any all star type of player, all NBA all star. We're in the exact same position as the Timberwolves. As opposed to being what we were 10 years ago, I think we're in a good spot with Tibbs.
yeah, I can't be mad at that because you also have to think about it like this. If we go the young route, that means we get Brunson, but hey, let's trade Brunson and get a bunch of picks. It may be a good young rotational piece. Then we got to trade Randall and get a couple picks for that. Like we're gonna go in the route of let's get Emmanuel quickly, RJ, keep Obi, and then we're gonna be a bottom three team, and hopefully we get a high pick in the draft. And you know that's 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 already a path that we've seen that didn't work out. So it's like we're in a place where people are talking about competing for a championship. I rather that route. I rather even have a chance than to not have a chance at all. Like you see Phoenix,
But you're
Phoenix had
yeah.
the young guys.
But
Phoenix had Mikel and Cam Johnson. They had
but
all
if you're
that,
gambling
and
your if you're gambling the trade, like you said to send Jalen Brunson to another team. If you're trying to gamble that, most of the time you don't win that. You know what I'm saying? Like the
exactly.
draft is a gamble. You don't even know
And
what to expect from a
And
player
what's
that's been
wrong with
drafted. You know what I
using the
mean?
and what's wrong with rolling the dice on the draft? I mean, sure, more often than not, this Knicks team, because of incompetent front office, has rolled snake eyes instead of sevens at the draft. But I'm just saying, this year at least try to get a piece in the draft instead of coughing it up in a bonehead trade.
Can anyone hear me?
yeah, we get you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I think
Oh,
the
I thought my phone was glitching.
oh
My
no, you're
bad.
good. You're good.
But yeah, I was saying like trying to draft a young player, but trading your star player is such a hard thing to do. It's like most of the time you're not, like I say, you're not gonna win that type of gamble like that. You know what I'm
But why
saying?
would you do that when you're in the position we're in? We are in a good position right now because
That's what I'm saying.
anything you say, if we were healthy, championship level team.
I'm gonna hop
Oh,
off. Night, guys.
have a good night, man.
Mets.
Have
Hi,
a good night,
boss.
Nets.
I'm just saying, I feel that we there. Why would we risk it by switching it up or doing anything crazy? Hold the line.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
not
I was just yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
for last no this year we kind of figured that because We went to the playoffs. We see RJ and IQ. We see what happened, and basically the front office said either we're gonna bank on the youth or we're gonna stick with our guys now, and they made that decision, and we made that decision. We got better, so all it showed was that the front office knows what they're doing. And I thought right now I'm trusting the front office. We're in a great position. I'm not upset. We got a bunch of picks. We still have assets. Like we're a team on the up and up. We're not like Phoenix where it's like we have everything set and we have to win now. We're not like
Hmm.
Milwaukee where we have everything right here. We have to win now. We're looking where it's like, hey, even if this shit isn't great, we still can be better next year.
And how's
That's
Phoenix doing with Bill in and out of in and out, and that's just one player.
exactly. And not even just Bill. You're talking about Bill, Durant, and Burker, who still struggle to play together.
Hmm.
And
I
and he
think
want to
this
win the
year
championship.
before they played the Knicks, I think they only played one quarter because the time when Booker got that fadeaway when RJ was there, they only
Hmm.
played like one quarter at that time,
And that's
Mm.
it. And you
and
want to
all
win
like
the
20 games
championship like
in.
that.
But
That's
this is what
that's
I'm saying. They lost one player or one of their three key players, and they're struggling. But they have a really good roster. We lost four, and we're holding it down. This is a championship level coach to me.
that's what I'm trying to tell people. Like this team is a lot better than what people think. People see the team and they think, oh my gosh, we don't have our guys. We're gonna struggle. We're gonna. I'm like, we're keeping steady with way lesser talent. We bring that talent, this team goes to another level. All I honestly want on this team is just another like spry young wing player that can kind of back up like that OG time. Like I would have loved to have like a Kamingo off the bench on this team, or a Cam Whitmore, or a GG. Just somebody who can just when he comes in, he has the size in the speed to match up. Where okay, cool, when OG's out, we got OG light. That's it.
I think we're a stable team right now. I think that's a good thing about us. We're stable.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing about us right now. So
I'm going to ask a question about something I seen in the Denver Laker game. I want to see if we can implement it, but I'm not sure because of skill set. Um, I know this thing where like Jokic goes to like the paint, and usually like the defender comes up, and Aaron Gordon's at like the dunker spot. He does like he goes for like a floater, but then he throws it for a lob. Do you think that could be something for Jericho Sims with Brunson? Because I feel like with his vertical, he should be getting a lot more like lobs to him.
I could see that actually. Even though Jefferson's got the got the hops, he could
Uh,
definitely. I could see that.
I'm gonna say no because that's a lot of backdoor cut screens that you got to set, and those screen and picks that you're setting for the backdoor is not gonna be set up for Brunson at the top of the key. So unless he's doing the screening and cutting to the basket, and they're throwing it up as he's cutting, like we doing it old school, like cut and go. That's the only way I see those lobs working because you're setting those backdoor screens. Now, if Josh Hart is setting backdoor screens and you got your big up top and they're rolling, I could see that. But you're gonna need a lot more backdoor cut-ins, and I haven't really seen that.
That's true, Bob. But like you said,
But
like
what
the
about
old
why does it have to be backdoor cutters? Why can't it just be dribble drive penetrators like Brunson, like Deuce?
Like I said, for that to happen, it would be Sims coming off of a screen, cutting right to the basket for that lob, coming immediately. But then once we do that,
That's not a dribble drive. That's a cut.
oh, I see what you said. Okay, dribble drive.
you,
Okay, you think he got hit? I don't. You know what? At this point, let's give it a shot. I'm not gonna be optimistic with that type of play. Let's give it a shot.
Right.
because I'm not mad at it because when I see like the Joker do that a lot, and I'm looking, I'm like Aaron Gordon has the physicals to make that happen, but it's also always because when people see Jokic, they're like, oh, that he's tall, that's an easy floater, but Jokic
Hmm.
knows already how it's going to be defended, so he's like, I have this guy right here, and I'm like, Brunson does the same thing. Obviously, he's shorter, but everybody knows how dangerous his floater is. So I'm like, if he gets to the paint and he already sees the defender there, all Jericho has to do is just go for the lob. And I feel like there's something that because I don't know. I feel like with his like physical attributes, it should be utilized a little bit more. Because I understand sometimes he's like
I forgot.
all over on the floor, but I wish sometimes he could just have like a little extra in the game, like a little. lob to him because like I know like Mitchell Robinson would do it and it would be easy, but I just hope he can add like a little bit to his game, just a
I
little, like
forgot
something like
about
that.
that.
little
I
more
forgot
vertical.
about Brunson's floater. I forgot about Brunson's floater. He used to do that earlier with me. He had Mitchell. You're absolutely right. I could see that.
Yeah, 'cause I
I could
remember
see that.
Me too.
every time he had Mitch, it just if he seen Mitch coming, he already just throw it in the air.
Yeah.
Mitch got it.
I
Right.
forgot about
He'll
his little
catch it
cut.
and
Yeah, he'll
slam it
do a
in. Yep.
straight throw up. And yeah, he had that little floater
So
that was just
I
nasty.
gotta get out of here. I gotta run.
All right.
Thank y'all everybody for rocking
Go
with us.
New York. Go
I
New
just got
York. Go.
I just got like 7 emails back to back. So
It's
I
okay.
gotta
All right,
go
man.
I gotta go tend to that, man. Thank y'all for rocking with me, man. I'm gonna get out of here.
So, dude,
If time
thank you.
permits, I'm gonna jump back on. But right now, I'm gonna check out these technical emails.
All
Hey,
right.
thank y'all, man. Peace, everybody.
All
Breeze,
right, y'all.
breeze.